Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And of course, the Queen has entered the building.
Wow.
It's Mona Kattan.
I'm not used to this kind of attention, so early.
Come on.
Stop it,
I
Mona.
start my day here every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Welcome.
You can have your own
you.
show here on Virgin. We can
Oh
talk.
my God.
So,
Thank you.
firstly, so good to see you. I haven't seen you for a while.
It's
so
been way too long.
It has been
I
way
miss
too long.
you.
Miss you too.
And I just ran into Baby Cruz.
You saw Cruz.
Oh my God.
Isn't he
and
cute?
Brianna. And honestly, he is just even cuter in real life. Like, mashallah.
Thank
he
you.
is just amazing.
Thank
and so
you.
sweet and so like joyful. He's like the perfect combination of you guys.
Thank you so much. Yeah, he's our little blessing, our little son. So let's get talking about you. Come on, you're doing
I
so
wanted to talk
much.
about you.
No, we're talking about you, Mona. So, I mean, for people, obviously, a lot of you know Mona Kattan. For many that you don't, you were the co-founder of Huda Beauty, and then from there, just built this entire empire with your family and your sister. You then go on and say, hey, that's not enough. I'm going to do another thing. I'm going to do Kayali.
Yeah.
And I'm going to dominate it. I'm going to dominate the perfume market. No matter where you go around the world, go into any Sephora, there's a gorgeous picture of Mona, all her perfumes there.
Yeah.
I sent you a video when I was in Sydney, and this is how you know your product's good, right? In Sydney, in Sephora, there was only one product that had the security cap on. That meant if you stole it, it made a noise.
Yeah.
It was all of Kayali.
Nice.
God, wow.
It's true. And I said to the manager, how come this is the only one that's got it? She said, because that's the only one that they want to steal.
Wow.
So that shows you
That's
that
good.
no, honestly.
That is amazing.
I want to be the product that you want to steal.
What is that? Like the number one most
Stolen?
stolen
No,
after
I don't know.
like product I want to steal.
Yeah, and so you built Kayali, and just really that has just been an enormous feat, and it's built from this city and this country, which is pretty
Yeah.
special. How's it all going?
I mean, it's going well. You know, it's definitely a busy season. You know, so much is happening, and I'll definitely fill you in on some, interesting news very soon. But, it's been a journey, and I think that everything that you build, and I'm sure you have the same with all of the businesses you built, it's an evolution. So,
Yep.
like, when I first started it, I was actually, like, working very closely with Huda, and I was very codependent with her, and I wanted her to do everything with me because I've always been like that with her. And then, it just wasn't really working well because she was so busy with Huda Beauty and everything else. And then it wasn't until like 2020 during before COVID.
Just before COVID.
Exactly. And our retailers were like, you either need to make it or break it because we're going to have to pull it off the shelves. It's just not doing well enough. And I had
Wow.
to pull out and just like focus all my efforts on Kayali and tunnel vision on it. And it took about a year or two to really see proper traction. But by like 2022, like we were growing 100% year on year. We did 50% last year. And now we're the fastest growing fragrance brand in Sephora. So we're
so
adding
cool.
some
Wow.
growth to them. So
Out of Dubai, baby. Out of Dubai.
Love
and
that.
it's inspired by Dubai. I
Yep.
always tell everyone, Kayali is a love affair for, my fragrance experiences coming to the region. Like the way people use fragrance here is like so fascinating, and it's a tribute to people that I've met here because they changed my world when it came to fragrance.
Well, that vanilla one Brianna wears all the time.
That's in my bag.
If
every day.
vanilla,
thank
I get it
you.
sprayed into the bed sometimes because I just want to go to bed with that smell. Honestly, it's so,
So
good.
nice.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow, wow.
No, you know there's vanilla. I don't want. Oh yeah, vanilla.
Vanilla 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
That's
one.
our
Vanilla
best seller.
28.
Yeah.
That's the best seller, is it? So when you're coming up with a fragrance, how do you do it? Like, is it? I mean, are you smelling a lot? I mean, I've been obviously to your house where you've got that downstairs area where you've got, I think it's like the world's largest
We're working on
perfume
it. Yeah.
area I've ever seen. But I mean, are you just smelling a lot of perfume? Is that what you do?
I mean, every time we develop a new fragrance, it starts from an emotion, like something we want to make people feel. So, like, for example, the last one, the last one wasn't an emotion. The last one that we launched was Yum Bougie Marshmallow. And that was created because Hassan's nickname for me is Marshmallow. He's like, you're so soft and like mushy, like a teddy bear.
Now, hold on a second.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I
I
take
see
it as a
you
compliment.
training every single day, all
But
right?
more like emotionally. He's like, you're so soft.
Cute.
He's like, you're just like a big mush ball. And
love that.
it's true. I am a softie. So that was inspired by my nickname. But every single fragrance we launch is very personal and very meaningful. Like there's never something that's just like, oh, let's just randomly launch this. Like we put so much effort into it. Me, my entire team, like we try sometimes 50 to 100 samples. We wear them on skin. We try on everybody's skin. It's not just my skin because everybody's skin is so different.
Yeah.
So we want
Yeah.
to make sure it smells good on many people's skin.
Cool. Why does skin reflect how it could smell?
Everybody's skin is different. So your pH is different. Your hormones are different. What you eat affects how you smell. So even the places you are, for women at the time of the month changes how
Sure.
you smell.
Wow.
Weather changes how you smell. So that's why a lot of people will be like, this smells really good on me, and someone else might hate a fragrance. So you want to test on different people so you can hope that it'll smell good on most people. It'll
Okay.
still possibly not smell good on some people, but we just try to make sure it's not just for me, it's for everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I'm so curious. Give us some rejected ones that you thought were going to be so good, and then you brought it out, and they were like, "Nah, Mona,
Dog's
you
wee.
can't do that."
Dog's wee. That was my suggestion. I
what?
thought, yeah, dog's pee-pee. I thought that was a good smell, but they said no.
Wait, what?
That was my suggestion for Kayali. I mean, I'm not in the fragrance business,
You're
obviously.
so funny.
Because you know how when you're in it, I can imagine you. You're so you're so passionate. I can imagine you coming up with like an idea, and you're like, "This is gonna be the best."
Of
And then you
course.
get it to the lab, and you're like, "Put all these together," and then it's like,
Yeah.
"No, Mona," and you're like, "Yes, it is."
I mean, to be honest, I think a lot of times it's not the scent itself. It's like what goes on behind it. It's the commercial support you get from your retailers.
Interesting.
It's the marketing. It's the
Oh.
investment on sampling. It's the investment on, influencer events, campaigns, even paid marketing. So it's not just the scent. But there has been a lot.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about
No,
it 'cause
no,
it's
I
my
get
favorite
it.
collection, but the oud collection but it's been really soft. Like the sales have been soft, but our retailers told us from day one, they're like, oud is a very small part of the fragrance pie. But I was like, I don't care. I care
wanted to
about
represent
it.
it,
And it's
though.
meaningful to me
Yeah.
because it's from the region.
I love that.
And so I'm not going to give up on it.
No,
But it's been hard.
I love that you're honest about that. I think that's really important from a business owner to showcase
Yeah.
like you not only your highs but your lows that have been soft on sales, which is great. But you still wanted that representation. We had a lot of questions come in on Instagram yesterday about like if you wanted to ask Mona a question. One of the questions was like, when starting a business obviously it's not the easiest thing, and you guys started it from the ground up. It's not like you had a successful podcast or a radio show or you were on a Netflix TV show when you built this brand. You built
Yeah.
this with nothing.
Right.
So what ideas or what tips can you give to someone that's coming from nothing? A lot of people ask me about, my brand. Oh, you built Fade Fit and how was it? And I feel like sometimes I'm cheating. I had a platform when I built that, right?
Yeah.
So doors were opened already. For you,
Right.
for you girls, there weren't doors open. You actually had to start opening them yourselves. I know
Right.
that they had the.
Well, we had a platform too.
You had a little.
To be honest.
Yeah, but it wasn't like what it is today. So
But
what?
it was big for the time. Like
Okay.
Huda had hudabeauty.com. She had it
Yeah.
for 3 years. She had a huge community. So she was already building that for such a long time. For me with Kayali, I had been building a fragrance community, also not as big as it could be, but it was
Yeah.
still there for over 10 years. So, people see Kayali successful today, but I'm like, I've been working on this from 2010.
Wow.
I had my first fragrance sample since 2011. So there's been a lot of efforts going into it. I met investors in 2011. Wow. I've had it on the back burner for such a long time. Like it's always been in me to like want to create a fragrance brand because I've been loving it. I've been loving fragrance since I was a kid, but ever since moving to Dubai, that was when my love affair for fragrance just skyrocketed. And when I got my first niche perfume, my friend in university got it for me as a gift. That's when I was like, this is
what I want.
I'm obsessed.
So what one tip can you give to someone starting a business right now or are currently going through that whole startup size? Like what's one thing that you can tell them?
I would say a lot. It's hard to narrow it down to one, but I would say definitely make sure it's something that you're truly obsessed with.
Okay.
Because if you're not obsessed, it's going to be so hard to create a brand around something that you can't create something new. Like you want to find the white space. Sorry. And if you're not obsessed, you won't know what the white space is. And you don't want to create a Me Too brand. You want to find something different. And it doesn't have to be like revolutionary, but maybe you find one thing that you like about this brand, another thing from another one, and you package it all together and you make it yours.
Okay.
So you really need to find a way to innovate. So being obsessed is important. There's this book I love. It's called Be Obsessed or Be Average. I think everybody who wants to, actually I think everybody should read it. No matter who you are, it's like really great because it really helps you drive your passion into something. And then make sure you have a lot of purpose and meaning behind what you're doing, and also understand that this might be something that you'll have to wait 5 to 10 years to actually be paid for it. You actually might have to spend money on it because a lot of businesses require a lot of money, and you're not paying yourself a salary. You're putting all your savings into it, and there's a huge probability that it won't go anywhere. So if there's no purpose behind it and you're not obsessed, you're better off investing your money in the stock market. Like if it's just for money, if it's just for saying you're an entrepreneur, like that's not a good reason.
Yeah.
Like make sure there's a huge underlying reason behind it, because otherwise you probably will give up.
Love it. Great advice.
yeah.
We talked about Kayali and just how amazing it's going. I do want to obviously talk about Dubai Bling. It was obviously it must have been a really big decision for you to take onto the show.
I mean, it's kind of because of you.
Don't blame me for anything.
You were like, you have to come join. And honestly, I was supposed to do season 1.
Yep.
Last minute, I had way too much anxiety. I just was like, too stressed. Honestly, even physically, I couldn't do it. I just felt so anxious. After watching season 1, I was like, I had so much FOMO.
You're like, I
was
want to be part
what
of
a
it.
fun show. It was wholesome. Like, it was, of course, dramatic. But I think as a reality show, it was more well balanced than most. It was like, there was family parts there. There was like heartwarming parts there. And I just think you guys did such a great job. So I joined. And
I know you
partially because of you.
It's good. And then
you left me, but it's fine.
You were such a great addition to I think the series. And I always say, like, no matter what your experience was filming a reality show, especially Dubai Bling, I was proud of our involvement. I thought it was a great show for what it was. Season 3 obviously has just been released the last month, and I mean it had great ratings, a lot of people watching it. How was it for you, Mona Kattan?
It was definitely interesting, I think the change in cast was a bit of a surprise, of course, because we don't get told about everything until we start filming. Yeah. So that was interesting, but I loved the season. I loved filming with everyone. I loved the cast. I loved the production. It was intense. There was a lot of heat this time, more than last time. So there were moments where I was like, I think I have to go. I can't deal. I don't like when people fight. Like, I'm that kind of person. When people fight, I panic inside. Sure. And I look like I don't care, but in my head it's like flight mode. I'm like, I don't like it. It just gives
confrontation.
me anxiety. I just don't like. I can sense when people are upset because I'm very sensitive, and it just makes me feel like nervous.
Sure. Yeah, I feel that. I mean, that's even when I was. One of the reasons why I guess we didn't want to do 3 so much was I just don't want to be in that position where I feel like there's that
anxiety, stress.
I try to keep my life fairly clear of that,
Yeah, it can be derailing sometimes.
But you were such a great addition to the show.
really
I think the messages that we've received. We put out on our Instagram on the Chris Fade Show yesterday. Any questions for Mona? And I just want to run through some of them. And can you give us some quick answers? No, they're all great. They're all. What I love is that they're all great. Now, before we get into it, I do want to play this.
So my nighttime routine consists of showering, praying, skincare, supplements, message my mom, message my dad, close my curtains all the way, set the AC to 18 degrees, set my alarm. Like, everything is there.
Why are you looking
Is that
at me like I'm
crazy? Does anybody else here do that?
You're judging
Somebody.
me.
Any
I can
OCD?
see the judgment in your eyes.
Is there any OCD?
There's major OCD.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to ask the question: were we in the calendar for this
you were. Are you
for the
kidding?
show?
Do you want to see my
Yeah, I
calendar?
want
So-
yes, honestly.
If you don't watch the show,
I mean,
we learned
there
that Mona
was-
loves her calendar and everything needs to go in it.
Of course, everything is there.
There it-
Traveling here was there. Getting ready was there.
Wow.
Everything was there.
Well, that was the first question from Layla Dubai. How is your calendar doing this year? Love you.
Oh my God, my calendar is intense this year. It's extremely busy, very packed. It's tough. It's a tough life.
Do you not get anxious more when you see you have so much on a calendar?
No, actually, it makes me feel more relaxed because I
Okay.
know everything's planned and organized, and like I just have to follow the calendar. And my boss, Sina.
Eamon says, how is she so consistent and always just such a sweetheart?
I mean, I just think that you have to be who you are. I think that in life, if you're going to do a show or even if you're going to do content, you need to remain who you are. And I think that who I am is a softie and I'm sensitive and, I'm just not somebody for the drama. So like, even if people try to provoke me, try to push me, it's just not who I'm going to be. I never have been that way. So I'm not going to do it for a TV show either.
Did you feel like because there were new members coming onto season 3 that it's interesting because when you come onto a show that has already had the success and already people understand what it's going to do, they come onto a show, and I don't know the new cast members personally, most of them, but they already know what they're in for. They know what they're going to get out of it. They know what they want. Do you feel like they knew what they were going to... They came in with a plan of like, this is what I want to achieve out of doing a show like this?
I don't really think so. I think Joanna just came because she just wanted to have fun. I know her personally.
Yep.
And she's just a really fun, entertaining person. So I don't think she had any plan. I think she just was herself. And Mahira, I think she also didn't have a plan. I think she was just trying to, talk about her story, her divorce and being like a strong, independent woman for her daughter and just sharing her challenges. And with Rose, I think she just came for a short time. I wish she could have stayed longer.
Yeah.
But funny enough, I knew all of them as well. Like I knew
Before.
Rose as well before too. So I think that they didn't have a plan. I think that there was a lot going on. So I think that it was hard to kind of narrow down what they could edit for the 9 episodes. Normally it's 8 episodes. They had to make it 9. There was just so much going on.
Yeah.
Like everybody had a lot going on. So it was hard to like fine tune it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you do a season 4?
Oh, there's been no word of it.
There's no word of it.
There's
but
no
it's just-
word, but if
It
there...
hasn't been a month yet, right? So I think Netflix normally waits a month before confirming everything, but we have no update from Netflix, from different productions. There's no update. So who knows?
Because I think, as a fan, like Nala and I are big fans of the show, and we binged season 3 within like 2 days, literally.
wow.
And like you are such
your
a
favorite?
Mona. Chris, you weren't there. You were only there for 10 minutes, so
Yeah,
I
that's
have to
Who's your
fine.
first
That's
favorite?
fine. That's
Okay.
fine.
He's the second.
Yeah. So I feel like what I love about you from the moment you stepped onto the show, and of course we know you outside of the show, there is no difference. The Mona that you meet in real life is the Mona that we see on the show, and you have stayed consistently like that in season 2. And despite all the drama in season 3, and they try to drag you into it, you still stayed true to yourself and who you are. So I feel like that's really beautiful, and I hope
you.
you're feeling less anxious about
Thank
being
you.
on the show. And if there was a season 4, we would love to see you on it.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And I really appreciate that. Honestly, a big reason why I did the show was because a girlfriend of mine was like, you need to be a role model for all the girls out there. There's not that many women who work really hard, who are trying to create their own, brand, build their dreams on reality TV. Probably because they're too busy. And I'm not going to lie, I'm also very busy. And I think that's the biggest concern around doing it again is like, do I have the time? It's very time consuming. Like 2-3 months of your life are like dedicated to this. But, it's so rewarding. I think I receive more than 100 messages a day from girls saying, you've really inspired me.
Oh.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
want to
which
go
is
after my
beautiful.
dreams. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how can I say no to that?
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
rewarding.
So true. Mona Kattan in studio with us. If you haven't seen her on Dubai Bling, get her on there. If you haven't seen her on social media, follow her there. We're going to run through every cast member that has appeared on Dubai Bling. I've been told the list has been given to me in front of me.
Oh, wow.
You've got to give us one word on each. One word on each. How kind is she going to be to everyone? That's the question. Mona Kattan, right here. Let's go with it. Dubai Bling cast. LJ.
LJ, she's like very cute.
Suffer.
Fashionable.
Joanna.
Feisty.
Mahira.
Elegant.
Hannah.
Supportive husband.
Zaina.
Hardworking.
I thought you were going to say
I
giraffe.
know these are 2
giraffe,
words.
no? Giraffe, no?
Kristen.
She's making money off that giraffe. This is fantastic.
Stop it.
No, that's so good.
She's owned it.
Yeah,
I love
she's
it.
owned it. I love it. I think, no, Zaina's legit.
Giraffe.
Chris Fade. I love him.
Brother.
Thank you. Brianna.
Queen.
Fahad.
Supportive queen, actually. She's amazing. Fahad, so kind.
Danya.
I would say she's very fashionable also.
Salim.
Salim, very real.
Bliss.
Very, relaxed this season, actually. He was very calm.
Farhana.
Farhana, interesting.
Interesting.
Ibrahim?
Yeah, Ibrahim.
I'm going to use your word, Freddie.
Yeah.
Theatrical.
Yeah.
But
Theatrical.
also misunderstood. I feel like Ibrahim, when you get to know him in real life, he's actually very sweet.
Yeah,
And if you're nice, he's the nicest person to you.
100%.
If
Yeah.
you're not nice, he can be a jerk.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you are nice, he's very supportive.
Well, what's
So I feel like
crazy
he's misunderstood.
was when Ibrahim came into the studio, and I always say the same thing. Like, I traveled with Ibrahim to South Africa. I got to know Ibrahim a lot more, and I always say, Ibrahim's a really cool dude. He's a good guy. When he came into the studio after he left, what did you guys say?
We love him.
Yeah.
He's so
He's
lovely. He's
actually so
honest.
nice. And
Yeah,
that's why
honest.
when-
honest.
Whenever I meet people recently because of this season, everybody's like, oh, he's mean or whatever, and I'm like, no, he's not. You
Yeah.
don't know him.
He's a showman,
though.
Showman.
He should be an actor.
Yeah. Well, I think isn't that what he's trying to do? He's putting some
think
stuff
so.
out.
I think
There's
so.
nothing that guy won't do, which is
Yeah.
fantastic. I love that about him. Mona, we want to say thank you so much for coming
my
through to
God,
the show,
thank you
man.
for having
We
me.
really, really appreciate
Thank
you.
you. I love you guys.
A lot of messages coming through. Like, Samantha, what do you want to say? Sam, you're on with Mona real quick.
Hello.
Hey, Mona.
Hi.
I just want to say you've got this really calming presence about yourself.
Oh, thank you.
But I want to also tell you my daughter's 15 and she saved up and bought her first bottle of Kayali. She
my God.
absolutely loves it.
Thank
and
you
I'm
so
going
much.
to save up for her next collection, for
That
her
is
next
so
bottle.
sweet. I want to cry. Send me your address. I'm gonna send one for her.
Oh my gosh! Look at
DM
you,
me.
Sam. All right, we'll get that address. I mean, the same thing with me. That's what I bought Kiki in Sydney.
You're so sweet.
That's what she wants. I said, "What perfume do you want?" She's like, "I just want Kayali."
Oh my gosh.
I said, "Well, all right. Well, I know Mona." And she's like, "No, but I want it now." So I'm in Sydney, and I went out and bought the bottle, and I was like, "This is." But that's so cool that
Thank
that
you so
age group are
much.
already onto it, which I think is fabulous.
Yeah.
so sweet.
Go out and get Kayali. Go and
my
watch
God.
Dubai Bling. Go and buy some Huda Beauty makeup. And your father's got Daddy's Cool Kitchen coming out as well. There's nothing that this woman can't do.
Yay.
There's nothing that this woman
so
can't do.
sweet. Thank you.
Absolutely great human being. Give her a round of applause. It's Mona Kattan. Thank you, Mona.
Thank you so much. Love you guys.
The Chris Fade Show.
Virgin Radio.